So look at this beautiful pumpkin. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the details on the leaves, the tendrils, the stem, and the size of this pumpkin. That's my hand. It's huge. We're going to make this. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time. There's a couple pieces on it that's not the easiest, but look at your end product. It's gorgeous. You ready to dive into this beauty? My name is Ronnie. I work with Maggie, and we're going to make this beautiful overstuffed pumpkin today. Okay, to make this big plushy pumpkin, a couple of factors are going to be coming into place. What yarn you choose to use. You can double up your yarn. You can use a bulky yarn. You can use a velvet yarn. You can use whatever you want. What I chose to do, sorry for my dog in the background, I chose to use this yarn. I love the color. Absolutely love the color. It's called Burnt Pumpkin. And let me tell you, this is probably, right now, this time of the year, the most popular color you can find at Hobby Lobby, because I've had to go to 2 Hobby Lobbies to find it. You can obviously order it on their website, but when you order on their website, you have to spend so much money to get free shipping, and it's just, it just depends on what you want to do. So, your call, your choice. But what I chose, I got 2 skeins of the burnt pumpkin to make the pumpkin. That's what I chose to do. Now again, you can use 1, but you got to remember something here. You always want to use, when you're making a project that you're not at the fill, you want to go down at least a half a hook size, because you need to make sure it's tight enough. That way when you fill it, you don't see the filling through the project. So since I'm using 2 skeins at one time to make this yarn calls for a 5.5 millimeter hook. Well, I'm using 2. I have opted to use a 6 millimeter hook. That was my choice. That's what I chose to do. You do what works for you. But I'm telling you, doesn't this color rock? It's gorgeous. I love it. So I'm going to just show you a sample of how to make the pumpkin. Using 1 strand, because I already have my swatch over here made, but I want to show you how to do it. And then, because here's my swatch, because after we do that, then I'm going to show you how to make the next stuff. Okay, I had to get my counts together. Okay, you want to chain 46. I'm going to do a small swatch, but I do need you to chain 46. Okay. And again, remember, I used 2 strands. And 14, 15, and 16. I'm going to just do 16. Again, I need you to chain 46. I am going to strongly recommend that you use the back horizontal bars for the first row, because when you're seaming this together, it's going to look a lot nicer and it's going to be a lot easier to seam. Hint, hint, hint. But if you crochet in the regular chain, it'll be still fine. Okay. Second chain from the hook. You're done as a single crochet all the way down. 1 single crochet in every stitch. This is not my pattern. This is a free pattern that I saw, and I really didn't change, I don't think much. So this is not my pattern. This will not be a pattern that I will offer for sale on our website or anything like that. So it'll just be the video. So my dogs are very, very vocal today. Okay. Once you completed your first single crochet row, you chain 1 and you turn, and then we're going to do just a regular single crochet row. So we're going to do 7 rows. Okay, just like this. 1 single crochet in every stitch. Again, you chain 1 and you turn. Okay, so you're gonna do this. I'm working on my 3rd row, so your chain did not count as a row. So the 1, 2, 3 rows, I'm working on my 3rd. When you get to the 7th row, come back and see me. Okay, we're gonna dive right into this pumpkin, but I need you to remember there's a couple factors that play really hard into this. You can use regular 4-ply yarn. Pumpkin's going to be smaller. I chose to double up, so I did 2 yarn skeins at the same time to make mine bigger. You can use bulky yarn. You can use velvet yarn. You can use blanket yarn. You can use whatever yarn you want. But whatever they recommend for your crochet hook size, I recommend you going down about 1/2 hook size, because you need the density for when you fill it. You don't want the stuffing leaking out or being able to see through it, okay? So I chose this yarn. I love it. I love this yarn. Burnt Pumpkin. Let me tell you, hard color to find at Hobby Lobby. Very, 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 very popular right now. Which, tis the season. But anyway, it's my favorite color right now. Absolute favorite. I'm going to be using 2 skeins at the same time, but for demonstration, I'm going to use 1 because I do have my sample made. Okay, so now this yarn calls for a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. I'm using 2 skeins at the same time, so I chose to use a 6 millimeter crochet hook because I want mine dense. Okay, so now the pattern does call for, this is not my pattern, it is a free pattern that I found that I love. I love this pumpkin. Anyway, not my pattern. It was a free pattern that I found, absolutely free. Did not have to sign up for nothing, absolutely free, but not my pattern. So I do not have a pattern to give you, just this video, which is beautiful. Anyway, for your pattern, I need you to chain 46. I'm doing a small sample, just a small sample to show you how to do the first part of the pumpkin. So remember, I need you to chain 46, and if you're copying off of me, I used 2 strands for my actual project. So I'm going to just do a small swatch here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you want to make yours a different size, be very careful because it needs to be longer than it is high, or you're going to have an odd-shaped pumpkin. Just food for thought. Now, this is all worked in double crochet. I do recommend you using the back horizontal bar for your first row. It'll make the seaming so much easier. So second chain from the hook, put in your double crochet, and double crochet all the way down. Now remember, your chain was a 46, and then you started in the second chain from the hook. All right, so when you get to the end, it's going to be very simple. You turn, chain 1, and then you go in that same stitch and you do double crochet. And you just double crochet straight again across. We're not doing a chain 3 or anything like that. So you're going to do this until you have 7 complete rows. Every 7th row, after every 7th row, there's a little bit of a change. It's not a big deal, but it's a necessary deal. So you do 7 rows of double crochet. Chain 1, turn, and double crochet. Okay, after you complete your 7th row, meet me back here and I'll show you what you do. Actually, let me correct that. Not 7 rows, 6 rows. Need you to do 6 rows. I don't know what I was thinking. 6 rows, not 7, okay? 6. All right, I'll see you at the 6th row after you complete the 6th row. Okay, after your 6 rows, okay? Now, every row after you do 6, you're done chain 1, and then you're done a double crochet. Back loops only. So go all the way down, double crocheting, back loops only. And this is going to give you a little ridge. That's the whole point of this. Now the very last stitch though, do not do the back loop only, just do the full stitch. That way you have a solid side. And then you go back to 6 rows of normal full stitch double crochet. So it'd be a chain 1 and then a double crochet in the full stitch. Okay, so you're gonna just do that. So you're gonna do 6 rows of regular double crochet, then you do 1 row of the back loop only, and make sure all your ridges on the same side. Really, really, really important. So what I did, let me see if I can zoom you out and you can see a little better. Here's mine. When you cut at the end, leave quite a bit of yarn. So my project, just for your references, is 17 inches wide. And approximately, without stretching it out or anything like that, it's 34 inches long, okay, to give you an idea. Now, you can do this until you have 12 sets with the ridges. I didn't. This is a yarn eating project, letting you know. Big yarn eater. Yarn, yarn, yarn. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I got a partial 7th ridge in there. You can do it as long as you want. Your choice, your call. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, demonstrate on how to make the swirlies. Those, you know, the curly vines, real easy. 2 strands again. You can pick your green. You can chain any length that you want. The pattern's recommending you chain 40. If you want to go a little longer, a little shorter, your call. So again, I'm going to show you a sample. So you chain whatever your heart desires. It does not have to be an even number. It does not have to be an odd number. Chain whatever you want. All right, so like I said, the pattern is recommending 40. I'm going to do a small swatch again. Now, second chain from the hook, just a regular chain, go in there and do 1 single crochet. And this is where I tweaked it. You can do it any way you want. The next stitch, I put in 2 single crochets. The next stitch, I put in 3. And 3. Next stitch, I put in 2. The pattern says to rotate it in any order that you want, 2 and 3. You can just be willy-nilly about it. You can make a pattern like I did, rotating 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. It will curl on its own, as you can see already. So they're single crochets. You can put 2 in each one, or you can put 3, or you can do what I did, and I rotated it. And this will curl up, just like as you can see mine's doing right now. And in your last stitch, which that was my last stitch, missed that. Your last stitch, just put in 1 single crochet. And then you cut and you tie off. Okay, that is how you make that little curly piece. Real easy. All right, now let's work on the leaf. And if you want to make a couple of these, you are more than welcome. Your project, do what makes you happy. Okay? Now, for the leaf. The leaf is going to take a little time. So I need you to do a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Second chain from the hook. I'm going to use the back loops again. I want you to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Turn your work, chain 1. First stitch, put in 2 single crochets in your first stitch. And 1 single crochet in the next 3. And then 2 single crochets in your last stitch. Turn your work, chain 1. Put 2 single crochets in your first stitch. One single crochet in every stitch except the last. Very last stitch, put 2 single crochets in. Okay, turn, chain 1. Again, put 2 single crochets in your first stitch. 1 single crochet in each stitch. Last stitch, put in 2 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's turn. Chain 1. Put in 2 single crochets in the first stitch. One single crochet in each stitch, except the last. Last stitch, you put in 2. And one more time. We need 15 stitches. Chain 1, 2 single crochets, 1 stitch in each one. Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So then you chain 1 and you cut. Leave a tail so you can weave it in. Okay. Now, to start the next row, the tail needs to be on your left. This is my left here, okay? So, to start the next one, you're going to count 5 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th stitch, put your hook, and attach your yarn. That same stitch, do a single crochet. After you do that 1 single crochet, I need you to do 6 more. So you need a total of 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to do 3 rows of increases. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. 3 rows of increasing. Let's do 1 together. You put 2 on the side, then 1 single crochet in each stitch except for the last. The last one, you put 2. Okay, so do the same thing for 2 more rows. Okay, after you finish that, cut again. You're going to turn it, so now your end will be on your right side. Okay. Now we're going to count 5 stitches over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And add on again. Do a single crochet in that first stitch. And do 1 in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Okay. Turn, chain 1, and then just put 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Your first stitch, we're going to do a decrease. Put your hook in, grab some yarn, bring it through. Go to the next one, grab some yarn, bring it through. You have 3 loops, wrap, and pull through all. The next stitch, do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more decrease. Grab your hook, put it through, grab some yarn, bring it up, go to the next loop, next stitch, grab some yarn, bring it up. 3 loops, wrap, and go through all 3 loops. Chain 1. Now we're going to decrease the first 2. And then 1 single crochet in that last stitch. Turn again, chain 1, and you're just going to do a full decrease in those last 2 stitches. And chain 1, cut and tie. Okay, and okay, that's what she should look like right now. Now, magically, I have one with all my ends weaved in. Funny how that works. All right, so now we have to edge her. So looking at the good side, go from the bottom, find your, there's 5 stitches down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's one right there. So in your 3rd stitch, put your hook in, pull some yarn through, and chain. Now you'll go back in that same stitch and put in a single crochet. Right. Now we're going to single crochet along the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to go up. We were just in this stitch, so we're going to go into this next gap right here and do a single crochet. We're just going to go in each little gap, going up this leaf. And the point, go right in there, do a single crochet. Now when you're in the point of the leaf, after you single, I keep losing my stitch. In your point, chain 2, 1 and 2, and slip stitch right into that first chain. Slip and slip. Then you go into your next gap, not where you were just in, your next one, your stitches now. We're going to just follow this up. If you have stitches to go in your stitches, okay? All right, now we're going to go back up. Just trailing the edge. And then point, and then chain 2. One and 2, slip stitch in that first stitch, go into the next stitch and do a single crochet. And I'm going to single crochet again. On the edge. This top I did very tight. Gotta find a way to get in there. There we go. Okay. Reach the top, go into that stitch. Top. Now I chain 2 and slip stitch, but this time we're on a single crochet in that same stitch that we just did. To make sure there are points here. And then we're going to do the same thing down. So do the same thing down that we did on this side, and I'll meet you at the bottom. Okay. So now I single crocheted in the second stitch. So now what I want you to do is I want you to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're just going to slip stitch the second chain from the hook, and you're going to just slip stitch all the way up. And after you get to the top, then you're going to slip stitch into your first stitch. And that's it. Chain 1 and cut. Okay. And you can fudge with it. It's a leaf, so please don't expect it to be perfect, because leaves aren't supposed to be perfect. Okay, so now I'm taking one strand and I'm going to do a little bit of surface crochet. You don't have to do this part. It is an thought to put some dimension in the leaf, but if you want to do it, take your hook, put it in, grab your yarn, and bring it up. Okay, you go into the neck. I'm going to do just a vein going up to about maybe here. So you go into the next gap, grab your yarn, bring it through. Getting started is not always the easiest. Through and through. Need to make sure I'm working with my working yarn, not the end. Okay. Now you just want to go straight up. So you put your hook in the next gap and just, it's basically like slip stitching. In, grab your yarn, bring it up, and in. Next gap, bring your yarn up. I do have a video on surface crochet. See, just going in, grabbing my working yarn and coming up. And I did use the same color. I'm just going all the way up the leaf, and I'm going to stop right there. So to stop, cut your yarn, you bring it up, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do one coming from here over to here, and one in the middle coming up to here. That's what I'm going to do for my leaf. Okay, so then we're going to work on the stem of the pumpkin. Okay, I wanted to show you my leaf when it's done. It has a little curve to it, but I actually like it. It's not perfect, and I don't know one leaf that is perfect, but you do you with your leaf, whatever makes you very happy. That's exactly what I would love to see you do. Okay, so, and the other thing I want to say is I did do a second tendril, or whatever, the tendrils. This one was a chain of 40, and I did the rotating. This one was a chain of 25, and what I did is I did 2 single crochets in the same, then 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1 to make it really loose. Okay, this one's more curly. So we have the leaf, we have the 2 tendrils. Now we're going to do the stem, the stalk, the stem, whatever you want to call it, and that's absolutely fine. This is not the most fun part of the project. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of how this is worked up, but it turned out really nice. So that being said, sometimes we got to go through a few pains to get to the prize, right? All right. So I'm starting with a magic ring. If you don't want to do a magic ring, you don't have to. You can do a chain of 3 and slip stitch to the first stitch. So totally your call what you want to do. And I'm going to be using a stitch marker because for this, you kind of do need one. All right. So here we go. You guys ready? We're going to do each round together. I'm not going to leave you hanging. In your circle, if you did your chain or your magic ring, I want you to put in 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to pull this a little bit. All right, I'm going to mark off each one as we do it. Now, we're going to go to our first stitch. And in that first stitch, there we go, we're going to put in 1. This is very, in the beginning, it's very hard. I'm not even going to dance around it. That's why I said it's not my favorite, but once you get going, it's really okay. So in the first one, you put 1 double crochet. And what I'm going to do, it's hard. There, like I said, it's hard. I'll do it this way. So in your first stitch, put in a double crochet. And I would strongly recommend marking. I'll use this one so it locks in and doesn't come out. Okay. And in the second stitch, you're going to put in 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then in the third stitch, you just put 1 double crochet. Okay. I lost a stitch. So in the third stitch, you just put in 1 double crochet. Okay. So the next round, if I can turn this, right side out so it's easier to maneuver. There we go. So now in the first stitch we're going to do one double crochet, I'm going to start this over again, guys, because I'm not liking it and I think something messed up somewhere. So let's try it again. All right, let's try it again. 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Pull that closed. 1, 2, 3. So in the first one, we do 1 double crochet. The next stitch, oh, let's mark it. The next stitch, right here, we do 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then the third stitch we do 1. And that should land you at 4. But I want to see if I can turn this right side out, because that should make it a little easier for me to see my stitches. There we go. All right, so the next row, in your first stitch, you're going to do one double crochet, and as soon as you do that double crochet, you can take your stitch marker out and place that in that stitch that you just made. And so the next stitch, you put 2 double crochets. One, 2. The next stitch, you do 1 double crochet. So guys, you see what I mean about it's hard to start? And then in your last stitch, you do 2. 2 double crochets. And 2. All right. So now we're going to do 2 rows of just matching stitch for stitch. So 1 double crochet in each round and each stitch twice. Okay, that's it. Just 1 double crochet in each stitch twice. I'm going to cut some of this length off because we don't need it, and I'm going to tuck it down so I don't get tied up with what I'm doing. So 2 rounds of matching stitch for stitch, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. I think I can start using this now. One double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next, and then repeat that. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2. Oh, I think I'm off camera a little bit. Let's fix that problem. There we go. And then 2. I apologize, I was off a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to do 3 rounds of matching stitch for stitch. So do 3 rounds of matching stitch for stitch, and I'll be right back. Okay. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches. That's 1. And I'm going to go back to this because my stitch marker fell out. 1, 2, and 3. I am all thumbs today. And then the next one you do an increase. See what I mean, all thumbs? One and 2. And just repeat that. One, 2, and 3, and then increase. And after you do that, you do 2 rounds of matching stitch for stitch. Be right back. Okay. Now we're going to do 4 double crochets. That's 1. 2, 3, and 4, and then an increase, and then repeat that. I missed a stitch somewhere, so I'm just going to add an increase, take these out, and add increase in these last two. No big deal. All right. Now, next row, I want you to do a double crochet in the next three. 1, 2, 3, and then do an increase. And then repeat that. An increase. Now the next row, we're going to match stitch for stitch. Okay, one more row. This row is a little different. We're going to do back loops only, and we're going to do a treble stitch. Okay, the treble is you wrap twice. You go into back loop, grab it, wrap, go through 1, go through 2, and go through 3. All right, treble. And the next one, back loop again, but we're doing an increase. So we'll do 2 trebles in that one. The next one, we'll do 1 treble. Remember, back loop only. Next one, 2 trebles, back loop. next one, 1 treble, and so forth. I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, your last stitch should be 1 treble, and then all you have to do, I know it looks odd, but it's fine, and slip stitch to your first, and then chain 1. And leave yourself a long tail. You're gonna need it. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Love how that looks. All right. Now that you got all your goodies, time to work on the pumpkin. Zoom you out. Get rid of my notes. Get rid of anything I don't need, actually. Yep. Okay. See your ridges? That's the outside of the pumpkin. So, well, I'm bumping you. I think I honestly left too much yarn. There we go. I'm going to fold these. Remember, my seam's on the outside. I apologize for that. My phone kept ringing. All right. So now, here we are. This is just a tail. That don't need to be worried about. So you want to put your hook through your first set of stitches on each one. Grab your yarn, bring it through, and chain 1. Okay. Now go through the same first set of 2 that you went through, grab it, and single crochet. And now you're done. It's just single crochet in every one. And this is why when I was explaining using the back horizontal bars, this is where this comes in to work out really good. Okay, so you're gonna just go up every stitch. All the way up to make your seam. I will meet you at the end. Okay, now we came to the end, chain 1, and bring my yarn through. Okay. Now see, now look at it. It almost looks like a ledge, like all the others. So it kind of works out cool. So now we're going to cinch this bottom. Now, pumpkins underneath come up. So what I like to do, personally me, I like to turn this inside out for this part. And I'm using 2 strands because you need the strength for this. You honestly don't want your string to break. Like, really, really don't. Okay, so all you're doing here is you're going to weave at the very base. You're going to weave in and out of each row. Just weave and weave. Just don't do big spaces, just do little ones. Just weave around. Finishing up a project after you put this much work into it, the last thing you want to do is rush. This is not the part where you want to rush it. And stick to the top. And I don't advise you going into the big gaps because we're trying to cinch this closed. So you don't want big gaps, like, you know, the ends here. Go into the closed areas. If you know what you're doing, you can fast forward. I am doing this for people that really want to see what I'm doing. Everybody learns at different paces, and we're here to help everybody. That's why I take the time to make these. You don't want to overlap where you started. So that's why I keep checking where I'm at. There, okay. All right, now here comes the hard part. While it's still inside out, cinch it shut. Take your time. Don't pull. Oh, I think I missed a couple. No, I didn't. Okay. Don't just keep pulling. Just work it through. See how it's slowly going for me? You pull it too hard, too fast, it's going to snap. See? Now, that's about as tight as it's going to go. It's a big project, and that's one of the other things you got to understand. So now, we want to close this up. So, we're going to close it up. Just a slow work in progress, but it comes together. I didn't know if you heard that whining, but that was my boy. Here. There he is. Say hi, Demo Demo. All right. He was outside. He couldn't find me. He was crying. All right, so make sure your pumpkin is really sealed at the bottom. Very important. You don't have to worry about weaving that in. That's going to be in the center anyway. So, and look, looks like the bottom of the pumpkin. So now, look at all that. That's a lot of pumpkin, isn't it? A lot of pumpkin. Let's see how much stuffing I got. Now, I don't advise this to be overstuffed. But you stuff it as much as you want. Oops, I'm bumping this camera right and left. I think I had just enough stuffing. That's crazy. Okay, so now I want you to close the top the same way I showed you how to close the bottom. And then we are going to come back and we're going to do, now the top, don't worry about closing it and stitching it up because the stalk is going to cover that direct center. Like the stalk is going to cover that, okay? So don't panic over that. That's no big deal. So we're going to come back and do that, and I'll see you then. Okay. Sorry, I have the light shining in my eyes. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see. As you can see, I sealed up the top just like the bottom. Okay. And I knotted this quite tightly. So I'm going to just cut that. And now, what we need to do is, you know how pumpkins have those indents in them? That's what I want to do. All right. So this is the top of my pumpkin. So you want to take your yarn, I would suggest same color, and I want to put the string around it. You know, like so. So you get those indents like pumpkins have. And, you know, take your time with it. There's no reason you have to rush on it. I'll try it again. I want to put it near where those ridges are. So before you twist it, tighten it, and then go the other direction. And bring it up. Okay. Okay. So I did it once, twisted it, and tied. Now I'm going to tie this one off. What's nice, because the stem is going to go over, and nobody's going to know about it, which is great. Now, before I do the next one, you want to move them to near where the ridges are. That way they're aligned. See what I'm doing? See how it's in line with that? And then this one, can move it over a little bit, be in line with that. Okay. I think I'm going to do another one. Okay, right there. Tuck it tight and then twist it and turn. And then when you're happy with the tightness, you tie it off. Just like that. Easy peasy. Now, see this little patch on the bottom? If you don't like that, look, you can crochet a little circle to glue right on there. Like if you don't have kids so they don't see it, just a little one, just a tiny little one. Or you can tack it down like that. So that is your call on what you want to do. I honestly think I'm going to tack mine down. Let's tack it down now. I'll grab. Okay. There we go. Bring it down. See how it goes down? And then I'll bring it up in another spot. And come up right there. And then over. And that's all you have to do. Now it won't go anywhere. Okay. And I think there we go. And to get rid of this, you just put it down in the stuffing and bring it out aside. And then it gets lost forever. Okay. Now, here's our stem. Now, what I like to do, take, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. I have 8 pipe cleaners. I'm going to bend them and twist it and stick this all the way up into the stem of the pumpkin. What's nice about it, oh, it didn't go all the way up. I guess I need more. Hold on. I guess my pipe cleaners are on the shorter end of it. So I'm going to twist this end and bend it down because you don't want nothing poking through, especially since this particular pumpkin is going to my granddaughter. And then the pipe cleaners allow you to move your stem around. Trying to get it up in there a little further. There we go. Now these bottom ones, what you can do, you can spread them out. Okay. Now, before you go any further with this, I need you to lay your pieces where you want them. I actually like them together like that. Okay. And then put your stem on. The way you want it. Okay. I'm going to flip this around. Because I'd like to sew them in the beginning. Just like that. Okay. You only need one of these two. You don't need to sew with both. And what you're going to do, you're going to do a whip stitch around. This project is absolutely beautiful, and I'll be honest with you, the veins in this make it, like really make it. So what you want to do is you grab a nice piece of the pumpkin and you go up through the stitch. Okay. And I do strongly suggest that you hit every single stitch going around. This is not the time to skimp on sewing this on. And then when you hit when you hit pieces, make sure you get a piece of it underneath. And then on the other side, I go underneath, and I got a piece. There we go. I got a piece of the tendril, because you need to make sure you grab everything. And then it's on there. Like I said, I am hitting every stitch. Now I'm going to hit this side of the leaf, go up through my stitch. Then I'm going to hit my leaf on this side. See how I'm going through the leaf on the next stitch. the other tendril. I'm going to go up through the stitch. And on the other side of the tendril. Because you want them locked in there. And now all I have left my pipe cleaners want to pop. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. You want to hit every stitch. Every single stitch. When you're sewing your projects together, it is not the time you want to race. You really want to make sure you do it right. Now, like anything in life, homegrown pumpkins, or even pumpkins at the store, they're not perfect. They don't grow perfect. They're not shaped perfect. They have imperfections. And all that being said, why would you want your pumpkin perfect? I sure the heck don't. I think the ones that aren't perfect are the cooler ones. And so I knotted it like 3 times. Okay. I am gonna weave my needle in, and then I'm gonna let it get lost, so to speak, in my stem. Just like that. Okay. And because you put the pipe cleaners in here, you can shape any way you want. Look at that. In love with this. Everything is hooked on there very tight. It's a good decoration. And it's going to be a toy that my granddaughter gets to destroy if she wants to, because it's hers to do as she wishes. But thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. This one took a long time, but let me tell you, very gratifying. Very, very gratifying. I love it. Gorgeous. 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 Thank you, everybody. Bye.